And welcome to the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium here in Boston. My name is Seth Orensky, joined by Jose Pena. We've got a great doubleheader today for you. It's the Battle of the UMasses. UMass Dartmouth tied for first in the Little East Conference. They come in at 16-5, 8-2 under first-year head coach Matt Ducharme. And for the Beacons, come in at 13-8, 5-5 in conference play. We'll check out the starters right now for you. As you look at UMass Dartmouth, Kelsey Garrity, the senior point guard out of Somerville, she's been phenomenal, leads the conference with over 5 assists per game. She's joined by a veteran group. Colleen Kane, a junior out of Arlington, Massachusetts. She's making her 21st start of the year. Beth Castantini, one of several big-time three-point shooters on the squad, a junior out of Newburyport. She's attempted 102 threes on the year, hit 35 of them. Second best three-point shooter behind Bree Hockwarter, who we'll see off the bench. Megan Ronigan, she's the player to watch, though. 19.7 points per game, first in the conference, shooting a conference best 54% from the field, 84% from the free throw line. And then Erin Fahey, who leads the team in rebounding with 7.8 per game. We'll check out the Beacon starters right now as UMass Boston without two of their top rotation players in Grace Geary and Katie Matthew for today's game.
I'm Taje Burston. I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts, and I'm a guard.
Hi, my name is Olivia Murphy. I'm a junior. I'm from Canton, Mass, and I'm a forward.
Hi, my name is Chantel Jordan. I'm a sophomore from Brockton, Mass. I'm a shooting guard, and I'm here to get this work.
I'm Mallory Nelson. I'm a sophomore from Topsail, Maine, and I'm a guard.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Keeks Morrison. I'm a senior forward from North Reading, Massachusetts.
As we're about to get the tip between Olivia Murphy and Megan Ronigan, one back by the Beacons. UMass Boston without Geary and Matthew for their second consecutive contest. Geary, the Beacons' leading scorer at 14.3 points per game, as Mallory Nelson has to pick that one up off the floor. Over to Taje Burston. Into Kirsten Marson. The Beacons will back it up with 8 on the shot clock. Burston a long 3, up 2 strong. Murphy, the lone Beacon there. She fights for it with Ronigan, and we'll have a tie-up. And Jose, without the services of Geary and Matthew, the Beacons don't have as much three-point prowess. You really need to get the ball inside and get better looks. That first possession, UMass Boston not able to do much.
No, and looking at the box score from the last UMass Dartmouth game, Olivia Murphy only shot twice, and that's something you need to establish early. Work inside, especially that you have no three-point shooters right now.
UMass Dartmouth able to work it inside. Erin Fahey, the easy baseline jumper, and UMass Dartmouth will show a little bit of full court pressure. Taje Burston, the Beacons' starting sophomore point guard, transfer out of Goucher College, has started every game. She turns that one over. Ronigan struggles to pick that one up and almost lost her balance there. Ronigan, a pretty good defensive player, second on the team in steals per game, only behind Kelsey Garrity, who leads the team and leads the conference in steals per game, as Murphy nearly gets one. Now she's being tied up from behind, and we'll have our second jump ball. It'll stay with UMass Boston, so new 30 seconds on the shot clock. And the other big thing, you not only have fewer three-point shooters out there for the Beacons, you lose 2 of your better ball handlers as well, and it's no surprise that Matt Ducharme and this UMass Dartmouth team is showing a little bit of full court pressure. Chantel Jordan jacks up a long 2, off the mark. And that's one of the things we talked about it before the game. Jose, it's really important that Chantel Jordan gets comfortable early. She's one of those players who's going to see more time without Geary in the lineup, and she's a player who hasn't seen as much time this season.
Yeah, her minutes will probably get extended tonight. She needs to keep playing her game, play her defensive mindset game, and create opportunities just like right here.
Jordan going one-on-one with Garrity, puts it off the glass too strong. Good rebound by Murphy, kicks it out to Burston. Over into the corner for Nelson, finds Murphy on the block, off the glass, no good. A second opportunity, and Olivia Murphy is able to do something she wasn't able to do the first time against UMass Dartmouth, get on the board.
And right there, she matched her field goal attempt total from last game in one possession.
Yep, Murphy had 26 minutes in that game, unable to score for the first time in her career, as we've got a foul on the Beacons. Go against Taje Burston. She can't believe it. A little bit of a forearm shiver there, according to the referees. Today's crew made up of Corey Gile, Thomas St. Michel, and Paul Mayola. As this crew was able to fill in, we've had our 3 games already this year postponed here at home by at least a day because of all the winter weather. Nice step up from Ronigan, but she's too strong. Rebound loose into the hands of Garrity, up and under, off the mark, and Murphy pulls down the rebound. Burston being guarded closely by Gary, the Somerville product, who's not only one of the better offensive players in the conference, 3rd on the team in points at over 10 a game, she's also one of the better defensive players in the conference, as Murphy can't get that one to rim in. Tapped out, and it'll go off the Corsairs, I believe. As now Courtney Mattingly has a conversation with the referees, and they will sort it over and give it back to the Beacons with a new 30 on the shot clock.
A little confusion there. Who had the ball last? But you can clearly tell it was off of Dartmouth.
Good inbounds to Morrison. Too strong off the glass. Tapped around for Jordan. And the Beacons get yet another offensive rebound. UMass Boston lost that first matchup by 10 at Dartmouth. They did own a big advantage inside as Morrison gets the N1 opportunity. 22-4 in terms of second chance points. The Beacons out-rebounded UMass Dartmouth by 10. And right now we're seeing the Beacons do what they need to do. Get it inside to Morrison, get it inside to Murphy, and let those 2 players carry the offensive load.
You can tell that's their mind. That's their goal right now. Get the ball inside to their big, unless something happens.
Morrison hits the first free throw. We talked about those free throw discrepancies. UMass Boston, the first team to the line. There's a crew that head coach Courtney Mattingly was very upset with after the game. Really brewed over into the next day when I sat down with her to have a chat about the team's game. That's a nice little lay-in from Beth Castantini. Comes into today's game averaging 10.7 points per game amongst the team leaders. And a good start thus far for both sides at 5-4. Burston loses the dribble as Garrity's not giving her any kind of space. Into the hands of Jordan. Jordan, not much of a scorer. Out top to Burston. Fake the 3. Into Murphy. A little bit short on that jumper. Comes out to Nelson as Burston was already in the backcourt. Nelson will take the 16-footer. A little bit short. And Jose, it's going to be interesting to see if the Beacons have enough offensive firepower. Check out our keys to the game with the first time out, but UMass Boston needs to keep this a low-scoring game. Fahey hits another baseline jumper, her second basket, and UMass Dartmouth captures the lead. Beacons just don't have that many players who are comfortable scoring multiple times down the floor.
Yeah, right now they don't have somebody that could take over a game like a Gary could. Gary would come up and shoot the ball relentlessly, and she would make some shots. Right now they don't have that right now. But they need to go inside just like that.
Well, Mallory Nelson able to avoid the travel call and hit the layup. She did have 10 points in the Beacons loss to Eastern Connecticut State, and she's a player who can get you 10 to 12. Ronigan, too strong. Murphy's double-teamed over to Morrison, and the Beacons will be given a free pass to get it across half court. Both teams sending a substitute to the scorer's table. Here, 5 minutes in, Burston has to pull up over to Jordan from the corner, unable to hit it, and the rebound into the hands of Fahey. Garrity looking to drive past a couple of Beacons, out top for Ronigan, into the hands of Beth Castantini. In the corner, Kane for the 3, nothing but net. That's a big 3 from Colleen Kane.
Good ball movement right there by Dartmouth. Got top of the key, swung one more pass to open man. Good shot.
And Jose, we talked about the Beacons not having their 3-point shooters out there as Geary and Matthew combined for 3.8 threes a game. UMass Dartmouth, so many 3-point options. Kane shooting 38% from distance. Castantini's taking 102 threes, and we haven't even seen Bree Hotchwater, who leads the conference, shooting 41% from distance, as the Beacons will bring in Raven Kelsey. For UMass Dartmouth, it's Alicia Coutil, 2-time Little East Conference Rookie of the Week. Bursting off the inbounds pass, a little bit too strong, and the rebound into the hands of Coutil. Freshman, 6 foot out of Franklin, Massachusetts, and be interested to see the matchup between her and the Beacons freshman, Raven Kelsey out of Boston. Garrity all the way to the tin, a little bit shy, and Murphy another rebound. She's been very strong in the early going.
Really active right now, really active.
Mallory Nelson up top. Doesn't normally handle the ball as Kelsey throws it just a bit too strong, but that's one of her fortes. She's really comfortable passing it from the high post down low.
Good idea there. She was open, just a little too much on the pass.
Beacons own a little bit of a size advantage down low. The question is, will they be fresh enough as this game goes on? That baseline jumper, a little bit off the mark from Erin Fay, who's already hit 2. Burston pushing the ball hard into the Dartmouth end. Now it's Nelson thinking about a long jumper into Murphy. Murphy puts it off the glass, no good. Gets her own rebound, looks to go back up with it. Dishes it out to Nelson. Long 2 is up, off the mark, and the rebound into the hands of Beth Castantini. With no Morrison out there, UMass Boston really only has 2 scoring threats in Murphy and Burston. And Burston, talked about it all season long, a pass-first point guard. What are you trying to do is, we'll see that timeout from head coach Courtney Mattingly. We'll check out the keys right now. These were some of the things I thought were important if the Beacons were going to come away with the victory. But dictating the pace, if you don't have some of your big guns, you have to slow it down. And as a defensive team, seen it thus far, the Beacons have been able to hold UMass Dartmouth to 9 points in the early going. How important is it for UMass Boston to make this game a 50-point game or even a 60-point game rather than into a track meet?
Well, when you're losing some of your players that you are heavy on to score some points, you need to keep that score really, really low because you have no way to lean on to score the points for you.
Looking at the other two, owning the paint. Well, we talked about the Beacons with Murphy and Morrison. It is now Morrison, after the short rest, will be back out there. Murphy taking a rest and control the controllables. It's all about the foul troubles. The last time the Beacons were frustrated by it, they let it get under their skin, and they shot poorly from the free throw line as Nelson gets it into Burston, and everyone will back out except for Garrity. Thus far, no foul trouble for either side. 1 foul apiece. Kelsey inside for Morrison, can't make the catch. And it's out into the hands of Megan Cohane, the senior out of Mansfield, Mass, into the game for the first time. Beacons in their 2-3 defense. Into the corner, Kane already has one, looking for another. And that's the trouble with the 2-3D.
You got to be quick to jump on that pass. You got to anticipate a pass and be ready to jump on, get in the man's face.
Burston working to break the press as Garrity gets a hand in. Burston pulls up, in for Kelsey. Kelsey amongst the trees. A little bit too strong, gets her own rebound, looking to go up again. And this time she's a little bit too strong again. So the Beacons getting those offensive rebounds, just unable to convert.
The points are there. They just got to start communicating a little better. If they need to kick it out, kick it out. It gets a little crowded in there, and they try to just go back up, looking for a foul, but they're not getting it right now.
Burston is tied up by a couple of Corsairs, and they'll stay with UMass Dartmouth as Kelsey heads to the bench. This is the Beacons starting 5. They've been out there now for 8 minutes. Morrison and Murphy have both taken short rests, but how much can you throw these players out there knowing that UMass Dartmouth is going to be able to stay a little bit fresher as this game goes on with all of their players available?
Well, that's what one of the keys to the game was dictate the pace. So you got to dictate the pace not only to keep the score low, but to keep your guys fresh.
Morrison trying to get into Murphy. Entry pass is denied and intercepted there by Coutil. Up ahead, looking for Cohane to the top of the key, into the hands of Coutil. Rims in and out. Coutil with the strong rebound. Rather, Cohane up top, and we got a travel on Colleen Kane. 5-point game, and now we'll see Bree Hockwater, a sophomore guard out of Attleboro, Massachusetts, in for the first time. Jose, these are some pretty staggering stats. 41.6% from behind the line, best in the conference. She's 52 of 125. 52 threes, easily leads the conference. And out of her 146 shots, 125 of them from distance. You really have to know where she's on the floor at all times. As Murphy, a nice spin, and she'll draw the foul. Fahey was in there with Cohane. And it will be Erin Fahey picking up the foul. Her second already, so it's the top rebounder for UMass Dartmouth. And we'll see if she heads to the bench with Matt Ducharme trying to keep his players available for the second half as Murphy rims the first one down.
And that's what you need. Keep going inside. Keep going inside. Try to get the foul, get in the line, dictate the pace. That's how you dictate the pace. Go inside, shoot free throws, play defense.
Beacons are certainly owning the glass thus far as Murphy can't hit the second. UMass Boston now 2 of 3. Olivia Murphy, one of the Beacons' better free throw shooters on the season, shooting at 69.7%. Hawkwater, her first touch. Out top for Garrity, long three, and she drains it. Kelsey Garrity's not as much of a three-point shooter, just 23 attempts on the year, but she's now 11 of 24 as she calmly drained an NBA three-pointer. Murphy for Morrison, back out for Murphy, long two is up. Nothing but net from the top of the key, and that's a good look for Olivia Murphy.
Nice two-man game right there. Saw she was double team, pass it up to the top of the key, drain the shot.
And that's a new facet of the Beacons offense this season. Both Morrison, even some of the Beacons bigs coming off the bench, Katrina Edwards and Brittany Moore, have shown the ability to hit that top of the key jumper a couple of feet past the free throw line, and it opens up a couple more options if you're UMass Boston when you don't have as many scoring threats out there.
Well, once you start making that shot consistently, you can't double team Morrison inside. You're going to have to keep one up the top of the key and maybe go one-on-one inside with Morrison. Good things could happen there.
Well, the Beacons trailing by just 5 here against one of the top 2 teams in the Little East Conference. My name is Seth Dorensky, joined by Jose Pena. It's UMass Boston and UMass Dartmouth delayed by a day. These 2 teams will both be in action on Saturday. UMass Boston will host Plymouth State, one of the cellar dwellers in the Little East Conference, currently sitting at 0-11 in conference action. UMass Dartmouth, well, it's going to be a very important game on Saturday. They host Eastern Connecticut State, the other 8-2 team in Little East Conference play. Top 2 teams in the conference. Eastern is hosting Keene State tonight, so if both teams were to win, that game could be a de facto Little East Conference regular season championship game with just 3 games remaining after tonight. Up top, it's Coutil picking up the dribble for Hawkwater. Over to Garrity. Garrity so confident as a leader of this team. To Ronigan, who's been quiet. Over to Cohane, long J. Little bit too strong, and the Beacons come away with the rebound. Burston looking to push, but doesn't have numbers, and she'll pull it out. Burston in for Jordan. Over for Murphy, kicks it out. Nelson thought about the J, instead she'll go all the way to the hoop. Murphy with the rebound, draws the foul. And Kelsey Garrity looks like she'll be the guilty party this time, as it's the 4th foul thus far on UMass Dartmouth. UMass Boston has just the 1, and already you're seeing a big difference in terms of the foul trend. First time the Beacons dealt with a lot of foul trouble. They weren't happy with the free throw discrepancy. Today, UMass Boston already going to the line for their 4th and 5th free throws.
Yeah, and the big key right now is Olivia. Olivia Murphy's doing a great job being active. Not so much active last game, but today she's active and she's doing a great job.
Murphy able to hit both of those. She's 3 of 4 today. Garrity bringing it up. Her team leading by 3 thanks to 3 triples thus far. 2 out of the hands of Colleen Kane. Great backdoor cut, and Ronigan easily scores on that one. UMass Boston had a couple players caught behind some screens, and Ronigan flashed on the near side, easily able to extend the lead. Nelson inside for a wide open. Murphy blocked and fouled, and this could be the second on Kelsey Garrity. Already Fahey with 2. See who's charged with this one. They're going to charge that one as the first on Garrity. So the last one, although she was claiming to be the player who had fouled Murphy, wasn't charged to her. Murphy hits another one. Now 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Murphy hits both to bring it back to a 3-point deficit. And right now, this is exactly where you want to be. The Beacons trailing by just 3, despite a little bit of 3-point shooting. Ronigan stripped, and Burston's going to be likely called for that reach in. And it will be Burston's second. Beacons don't have another player they've gone to a lot who has ball handling capabilities, so we'll see if Taje stays in there, and it looks like she will. The other point guard option would really be Jamie Ballou, who we haven't seen in about 4 or 5 games now.
Yeah, Taje has to do a better job of not be too aggressive because she needs to be in the game. The #1 ball handler, and she needs to stay in the game.
Burston with it now, inside for Murphy, kicks it out for Morrison. Elbow jumper, a little bit too strong. But that's that same look that the Beacons are getting. If you're going to double team, they're going to kick it out, and the Beacons can hit enough of those jumpers. Maybe they can. Garrity up top, finds Coutil, over to Cohane. 14 on the shot clock, leaving it for Ronigan, looking to drive by Murphy. Contact and the foul. And Megan Ronigan has a chance for the 3-point play.
Great move, great body position right there. She got under, nice little left-handed layup.
And that's such a fun battle. Megan Ronigan, the 2014 Little East Conference Rookie of the Year, versus Olivia Murphy, the 2013 Little East Conference Rookie of the Year. And even if there's a switch, Kirsten Morrison, the 2012 Little East Conference Rookie of the Year. How often do you see that? 3 Rookie of the Years playing on the same floor, and possibly 4 Rookie of the Years in attendance today, as Grace Geary could be this year's Little East Conference Rookie of the Year. Murphy kicking it out for Burston. Long 3, banks off the back, off the shoulder there of Jordan. Can't make the rebound. Garrity looking to push. Garrity inside for Ronigan. Mismatch against Nelson. Can't get the kiss. And it's into the hands of Morrison. Break for the Beacons as Ronigan was guarded by the smaller player. And now Kane riding Nelson the whole way. And she'll pick up the foul. 15th foul on UMass Dartmouth.
Pretty good job of UMass Boston right now. Gain these fouls. Try to get in the line.
Burston over to Nelson, not much of a 3-point shooter. Over to Morrison, read perfectly. Running the floor is Ronigan, and she'll hit the right-hand lay-in. Ronigan, it wasn't the prettiest dribbling display down the floor, but able to easily come away with the steal, and that extends the lead out to 8, the largest of the game thus far for UMass Dartmouth. Jordan trying to find Morrison, somehow makes the catch. Can't finish, though. Coutil may have gotten a hand in that time. It's a chance for Dartmouth to extend this into double digits. Ronigan kicks it out for Kane, into the corner for Hawkwater. Nice job by Nelson to get in her face. Coutil, long 2, no good. Murphy with the rebound, and the Beacons need to settle down.
Right now, Dartmouth dictating the pace. You want to slow it down, get it to your big man inside, draw some fouls.
Ball in the hands of Murphy as Katrina Edwards, one of the Beacons rotation bigs, heads to the scorer's table. And Chantel Jordan can't believe it. She's whistled for the traveling. See Morrison head to the bench for UMass Boston. For UMass Dartmouth, they're going to bring Castantini back into the game. Coutil, who's done a nice job off the bench, will head back to the bench. And Jose, looking at the stats right now, Olivia Murphy, 9 points for the Beacons. Nelson has 3. Rather, Morrison has 3. Nelson has 2. The rest of the Beacons have yet to score. Strong move there by Castantini. Can't finish with the left hand. Hawkwater over to the Beacons bench, and it's out of bounds off of Ronigan, who couldn't handle the bounce pass inside. Jordan will be allowed to easily bring this one across half court. Taje Burston constantly being guarded closely by Garrity. Jordan being given a bit of space. Up top for Nelson into the corner. Burston, another 3 attempt. Airballed that one too strong. Burston with a lot of weight on her shoulders without Geary or Matthew. Wide open Hawkwater. The 3 is nothing but net. 4th three of the day for UMass Dartmouth, and we went through those stats. It's the one player you cannot leave wide open.
That's the one you got to keep your eye on.
Burston up top for Edwards. Edwards out of Springfield, Massachusetts, normally the 3rd big in the Beacons rotation. Long 2 from Jordan, rims in and out. Nothing's falling right now for UMass Boston. 4 of 23 from the field, 17%. Ronigan back and forth with Kane, looks to turn, great up and under, and the finish with the right hand.
Nice move there by Megan.
13-point game right now. The Beacons were within 3 at 17-14, but a 10-0 run from UMass Dartmouth. Jordan across long 2 from Mallory Nelson, no good. Murphy tries to kick it back out, but it skips by Nelson into the hands of Marina Kelly. The Beacons will bring in Marina Kelly and Jamie Ballou right now. We'll have a UMass Dartmouth timeout, and we'll take a timeout with the teams. It's the Beacons trailing by 13.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, then I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
5:14 left in the first half. Beacons trailing by 13. You look at the stats, Jose. Beacons being outshot by close to 30%. And the threes, that's just a killer.
They haven't missed.
UMass Dartmouth 4 of 4. The Beacons 0 for 3. And the only reason the Beacons are as close as they are right now, 6 of 7 from the line. UMass Dartmouth 1 for 1. The Beacons holding a slim 18-17 rebounding advantage. But we talked about all the options for UMass Dartmouth. 3 different players have hit from distance, 4 for 4. And Taje Burston, the only Beacon to attempt a 3. She's 0 for 3s. We'll see what this younger lineup can bring. Kelly and Ballou, their first action today. The Beacons with 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and a junior. Easy bucket there for Kelsey Garrity, who's not sure who she's supposed to be guarding. Jamie Ballou out of Foxborough, Massachusetts, will handle the point guard duties with Burston on the bench alongside Morrissey. Now Edwards looking to make a move. That's a good one. And the finish over Castantini. Katrina Edwards completely faked out Beth Castantini, and she's on the board, the 4th Beacon to score today. Garrity looking to get by Kelly once again. Nice reach in from Edwards, and this younger group maybe bringing a little bit of energy. Murphy the catch, over to Edwards, gets Ronigan up in the air, can't get the finish. Murphy the rebound and the putback, and the Beacons a small little 4-2 run. Beacons team is definitely capable of running with UMass Dartmouth in terms of the energy, as that's a good pass inside for Ronigan. The Beacons forced to foul there. Garrity able to get by Marina Kelly, and Kelly's one of those players who we saw a lot this fall. The women's soccer team looked so comfortable, so adept on the soccer field, but she's still so raw when it comes to college basketball. It's a difficult matchup for her against Garrity, a 4-year player, an all-conference player who has all different kinds of moves. Ronigan hits the first free throw. She's 2 for 2 on the day now. Now got 11 points after that made free throw. 13-point game. We'll see Leah Dowdy, the freshman guard out of Framingham, Mass, for the first time today for UMass Dartmouth. She's appeared in 20 games this year, about just under 7 minutes per game. She's guarding Ballou. Wide open Kelly. She'll take the 3. Front rim, no good. The Beacons now 0 of 4 from distance. And Downey will man the point with Garrity getting a rare rest. Garrity and Ronigan to the bench. Coutil is out there alongside Dowdy with Hawkwater, Castantini, and Kane staying out there. Kane around his screen. Down low for Coutil over Murphy and somehow gets that hook shot to fall. Ballou manning the point right now for the Beacons. 3:30 to go in the first half. The Beacons trailing by 15, their largest deficit. Kelly for Nelson, looks to drive baseline, runs into a player. Somehow there's no call either way, and Nelson able to finish. Matt Ducharme still standing up in disgust with that call, but if you're not going to call it, Mallory Nelson's going to take all kinds of contact if it means she gets a good shot at the hoop.
Yeah, she's a physical player inside. She's not afraid to shy from contact.
Castantini up top as Courtney Mattingly gives some instructions to Jordan, who's about to check back in. Into the corner for Hawkwater. 1 for 1 thus far. 4 on the shot clock, and we've got a travel on UMass Dartmouth. The Beacons managing to at least stay within striking distance. Kelly back to the bench after a short stint with Jordy Mack in there. Ballou, Jordan, Murphy, Edwards, and Nelson for UMass Boston. Kane, Hawkwater, Dowdy, Coutil, and Castantini for the Corsairs. Not many starters out there for either side late in the first half. UMass Dartmouth does have a bit of foul trouble. Aaron Fahey picked up 2 early fouls, one of the senior captains on this team. Murphy looking to go all the way. Left-hand lane, can't get the finish, and she's called for the foul as she tried to rip it away from Alicia Coutil.
Aggressive move there by Murphy. She had the look, just a little too short on the layup.
Yeah, Murphy now with 11 points on 3 of 8 shooting. She has 14 rebounds in this first half, but the rest of the Beacons just not able to provide enough support around her, as we'll see Morrison check in sooner rather than later. She's at the end of the Beacons bench. Almost a turnover there. Jordan able to come away with the steal. Up ahead, wide open, Murphy. Now King is able to get back. Murphy bounces it off the backboard, and she's got 13 to match her 13 rebounds.
That's what Jordan does. She's a presence up in the perimeter defense. She'll get you some steals. She'll play aggressive. Throw it up there.
Dowdy looking to drive on Jordan. She's cut off. Out top for Coutil, who sees a lane. Runs into Edwards. Edwards with the steal. The Beacons have numbers ahead. Edwards not so comfortable handling it. Over to Ballou. Jordan saves it, but into the hands of Dowdy. Dowdy now has numbers ahead. Into the hands of Castantini. Running with Coutil. Off the glass and good. Murphy tried to avoid the foul that time. She's got 2 alongside Taje Burston with 2 for the Beacons. And lead back out to 13 for UMass Dartmouth. Under 90 seconds to play in the first half. Jordan for Edwards. Edwards looks to drive with the right hand, draws the foul, and she'll head to the line for 2 hard-earned free throws.
Big free throws right here. Got to keep the game manageable when you're going into halftime.
It's a 13-point deficit. The Beacons thus far very good from the free throw line, 6 of 7. Edwards on the year, just a 55.3% free throw shooter, is yet to score in today's game. First one falls off the front of the hoop as Morrison will check in for an exhausted Murphy.
Murphy gets a long needed break right here.
Minute and 18 to go. You figure 15 minutes for halftime. Hopefully she'll be fresh to potentially play all 20 minutes in the second half. Edwards, 55% shooter, hits both of them, and it's been as much of as a 15-point lead for UMass Dartmouth, but the Beacons cutting it back to 11. Hawkwater, 3 as Ballou got screened. She's 2 for 2. UMass Dartmouth 5 for 5, and the lead is back out to 14. Ballou leaving it off for Nelson. Right back out to Ballou, who is a capable 3-point shooter in her own right, 8 of 17 on the season. Kicked out for Jordan. She'll take the 3, too strong. Rebound into the hands of Morrison, leaves it for Nelson. Nelson draws some contact, gets her own rebound, draws the foul, and 1.
I thought she got fouled in the first shot attempt there, but she didn't shy away from it, got her own rebound, went back up, foul, and 1.
Well, Nelson has 6 points. She's second on the Beacons behind Murphy with those 13 points and 13 rebounds, and she has a chance to cut this back to an 11-point deficit. Beacons unable to hit the three, but they've had a couple of three-point plays to cut down on some of that traction for UMass Dartmouth. And with that free throw, it's a chance for UMass Dartmouth to potentially run the 2-for-1 here with Garrity back in, but they're playing pretty slowly. Looks like they'll go for one final shot. Jordan nearly got her hands in on that pass for Garrity. Garrity down low for Ronigan back into the game. Ronigan, elbow jumper, too short. Into the hands of Morrison. The Beacons have a chance to cut this to a single-digit deficit before the half. Jordan up top for Ballou. 17 on the game clock. Shot clock turned off. Down to 13. Ballou getting instructions from Courtney Mattingly. Down to 8 seconds to go. Ballou gets a double pick. Long three is up. Off the mark, too strong. Rebound into the hands of a couple Dartmouth players. Coutil will have it one. She won't get a shot off in time. And the Beacons, somehow, some way, head into the half down by 11. Jose, it wasn't a pretty half. You could definitely see the absence of Geary and Matthew for UMass Boston, but this game is still within striking distance if you're a Beacons fan. Thanks to some strong defense, and we talked about the need to have a big advantage down low. Looking at some of the stats, UMass Boston has 8 second chance points compared to 12 second chance points compared to 0 for UMass Dartmouth. Bench points, slight lead for UMass Dartmouth. Beacons, though, need to find a way to slow down on the three-point shooting for UMass Dartmouth.
Well, Coach Malley should be happy right now to go into the locker room only down 11. The way the UMass Boston Beacons played, they should have been down 15-20. Now, she'll go into the locker room and preach defense, defense, defense. Got to lock down the three-point shooters. Maybe you have to go over the screens instead of under and try to defend that way. Chantel Jones doing a great job in the perimeter, but somebody needs to step up and go alongside with her.
Well, we talked about the need to dictate the pace. UMass Boston came in allowing opponents to score just over 60 points per game. Right now, UMass Dartmouth's on pace to go above their season average of 71 points a game, and see if the Beacons can sort of change that in the second half. Right now, we're going to take a break, play the top 10 plays of first semester. Then we'll come back with our Beacons halftime show, as we'll have the halftime stats, check around Beaconville, and the rest of the Little East Conference.
And welcome back to another episode of Behind the Beacon. I'm your host, Haley Denton. It's been a wild first semester here in Beaconville, with 7 teams posting winning records. With all that success, it's no surprise that the Beacons have put together some crazy plays. Here's the top 10 from first semester.
Double-double for Keeks is a distinct possibility. As we said in the pregame show, she has 4 double-doubles in 6 career games against Rhode Island. Entry pass from Geary. They'll swing it out to Burston, and she rattles it home off the back rim. Taje Burston. Smith again towards the middle. Knocked up by Baker. Bumped by Glavin towards the back for Munchback. She'll get it over towards Wojewicz at the middle. Steal gets denied. Murphy wins it for the Beacons. What a block by Julia Murphy. Brittany Steele had been dominant all match long, and when it counted most, Julia Murphy was there, and UMass Boston wins a thriller.
Hanging in front, and Flute steps in front of it. Here's a chance for Lima. She's like, in the goal! Lima puts the Beacons on top 1-0. And it comes with less than 3 minutes to go in the game. UMass Boston climbed for their first postseason victory.
Peters on conjuring at the center circle. A long ball ahead for Ruffy. If this stays in bounds, the Beacons are in business. And she's good to go. Ruffy, far side end line. Pass up ahead, goes into the back of the net. She was looking for Pugliese on the near post, and she beats the goaltender. Erica Garufi has given the Beacons a 3-2 lead with 10 minutes to play.
one of the nicest guys on the team, an honor roll student as that shot doesn't get through. Mike Kuhn able to knock it down, pass in front, and it's Stephen Bucco one-on-one with the goalie. Bucco shot scored! Stephen Bucco, the senior out of North Providence, Rhode Island, and all of a sudden the Beacons take a 1-0 lead at 19-12.
I mean, Seth, that's the one guy, if you're Castleton, you don't want coming in on a breakaway. Stephen Bucco has a lightning release.
Eventually get it. It was one-on-one with McGuire. Double team help from Young. Gets a hand in there. Frees it up for his steal. This is Medina all the way up. Alley-oop finished by Joseph. He's flying high today, folks. Lizzie Avison. Avison shot knocked down in front. And it looked like Gare had a chance to turn it up towards the offensive end, but she loses the puck. This is Sullivan. Look at the moves. Backhanded shot. What a beauty. Alyssa Sullivan weaving magic in the offensive end. It's a 3-0 Beacon lead.
Wow. Wow, what a play by Sullivan there. Oh.
The ball looks to drive on Agnor, swings it out. Big block there by Gregory Young. He'll look to take it the other way. Young puts it up with the right hand and down. And the Beacons fans go crazy as that'll force the first time out. Young swatted the shot from Brandon Barboza and then a huge dunk.
Being open all game long, and she hit 4 posts as well. Here she comes again, looping behind the defender. Layden pokes it on, and it's into the back of the net. 100 career goals for Krista Layden. Comes just 7 minutes in.
Expecting to be out. All right, time for Tuesday's top plays. UMass Boston women's soccer, but you can probably figure that out. Krista Layden heads the ball forward in between 2 defenders, chips the ball over the goalkeeper for the goal. She becomes the 30th player in.
That championship goal. Silvera has one today. Silvera bending ball backside shot. Score! Score! It's at Nelson Barrows! The Beacons are champions for the first time in men's soccer program history. Douglas Silvera the pass. And Milson Barros the goal. And the Beacons are going dancing for the first time in program history.
Which one was your favorite? From all of us here at Beacons Athletics, we wish you happy holidays. And don't forget to check out the beaconsathletics.com website later in December for the top 10 moments of 2014.
Welcome back to the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium. My name is Seth Orensky, joined by Jose Pena. We'll check out the halftime stats right now. And a couple of the stats really jump off the page, Jose. The assists right there, and that's been what's impressed me about UMass Dartmouth. Their offense, 38 points here in the first half. Come in first in the conference, 5th in the region. This is a team that in the first NCAA New England region rankings that came out earlier today were ranked 5th behind 4 teams out of the NESCAC, who that's really the best conference in almost every sport, but especially women's basketball. UMass Dartmouth moves the ball so well, and there's a reason they shoot so well from distance. They're getting open looks.
Yeah, if you see how the way they play, they always look for the extra pass. They dribble once or twice and pass, pass, pass. That's the first. The mindset is pass, pass, pass to the open man. Open man gets a look, the ball goes in.
For UMass Boston, shooting just 25% in that first half. UMass Dartmouth, 50% on the dot. UMass Dartmouth hitting 5 of 6 opportunities, including their first 5 of the game. They shot 83% for the half. UMass Boston 0 for 6. The Beacons are now 0 for their last 14 from distance. UMass Boston, they're not a great three-point shooting team. They're towards the top of the conference. They don't rely on the three per se, 5.3 makes per game. But without Geary and Matthew, outside of Taje Burston, they don't have a player who really looks to use the three as part of their game. And to come back from a deficit like this at 11 points, the Beacons aren't going to be able to do it offensively. It's all going to have to start with that defense.
Defense first. You got to slow down the game and play a good defense. Chantel's doing a great job on the perimeter of defending the three. Somebody has to step up. On the offensive side, Baloo might be able to get some open looks and bring this team back because she can shoot the three ball pretty good.
Looking at the team leaders right now, it's been the Olivia Murphy show. 13 points, 13 rebounds, easily making up for that first game where she finished with 0 points and 7 rebounds. Already a double-double, her 11th on the year. Megan Ronigan, though, she's gotten hers. 11 points thus far for the conference leader in scoring. Averages 19.7, has been held to 0 rebounds. Alicia Coutil with 5 rebounds, and Kelsey Garrity came in averaging over 5 assists per game, tops in the conference. She's been really impressive for UMass Dartmouth. 5 points to go along with her 4 rebounds and 4 assists. She does everything for this team.
And she's pressuring the ball. She's been pressuring the ball the whole half, and Taje's having a pretty hard time bringing up the ball without stumbling a little bit.
Yeah, and Taje Burston, the Beacon's top point guard option, with Geary not available. We'll see if she's maybe a little bit more tired than normal in the waning moments of this game. We're going to check out our Around Beaconville right now. An exciting matchup for you at 7:30 as the men's basketball team will take on UMass Dartmouth. UMass Dartmouth second in the conference with their 8-2 mark, just behind Eastern Connecticut State. The men's hockey team, pair of home games this weekend as they close out the regular season. That one on Saturday should be a huge one. They host the #1 team in the country, Norwich University, for Senior Day. And then women's hockey, a big game on Friday. They take on the College of Holy Cross as the Beacons look to get a couple of points before their season wraps up next weekend. Take a look right now at the highlights from the Beacons' last home game this past Friday was UMass Boston 3, Nichols College 2, right here at the Clark. Back to live action. Minute 54 before the start of the second half. We'll check out the out-of-town scoreboard right here at the Clark. 2 games last night. It was Western Connecticut State defeating Rhode Island College 66-45. Those 2 teams were separated by a game. Both teams currently sitting at 5 and 6. If the Beacons were to fall today, they would drop to 5 and 6. Keene State, the other team at 5 and 5 in the conference, they trail Eastern Connecticut State, who's tied with UMass Dartmouth atop the conference by 4 at halftime. So, if everything stayed the same, UMass Boston would be in a 4-way tie for 4th place. 4th place is kind of important. You finish in 4th, you get to host a first-round tournament game, something the Beacons have never done. Southern Maine, a big 52-43 win over Plymouth State. Southern Maine currently sits in 3rd, but they're much closer to 2nd than they are to 4th after their win last night. Jose will take a look ahead, and for UMass Boston, the good news, they've got 2 more home games in their last 3. 7-3 here at home. Plymouth State should be a winnable game, 0-11 in conference. Then at the University of Southern Maine, a team the Beacons were ahead by 16 in the second half, couldn't hold on. And Western Connecticut State, a team they beat by double digits. This game isn't a must-win for UMass Boston. Without Grace Geary, without Katie Matthew, suspended due to violating some team rules. But this game is pertinent to UMass Boston if they're going to go into Saturday confident. If they're going to make a run, this is the kind of game where you have to show that you're not going to roll over.
Of course, and you have to show that you're a deep team as well. You can't just roll over because your top player is not playing anymore. You have to show that you have unity with the team, some depth with the team, and come out and play a great second half right now.
The Beacons will send out the same starting 5 they sent out to start the game. Murphy, Morrison, Nelson, Jordan, and Burston. Murphy and Burston with 2 fouls for UMass Boston. For UMass Dartmouth, it's the same starting 5 as well.
Something to look at this half will be how Coach Mattingly manages the minutes. 4 out of the 5 starters for UMass Boston, 18 minutes plus.
Fahey and Kane have 2 for UMass Dartmouth. The team fouls wiped away as UMass Boston going from right to left, and immediately a turnover. Burston trying to get it over to Nelson. And the Beacons turnover number 9 of the game.
Got to protect the ball. Teams are even right now in turnovers. Not a real clean game. So you have to protect the ball.
It's Garrity, long 2, front rim no good. Morrison with the rebound into the hands of Nelson. Murphy was streaking out, but Castantini back on defense. And the Beacons will set up. Nelson into the hands of Murphy from just inside the 3-point line. Looking for some help over to Nelson on the wing. Nelson has all kinds of space. She'll take the top of the wing jumper, no good. Kicks it out to Jordan. That's not her shot. And Burston, who every time the Beacons put a shot up is backing up into her own half, will control. Burston from in front of her own bench. 18 on the shot clock. Around a Morrison screen. Out top for Nelson. Just took this shot. Thought about it there. Picks up her dribble over to Burston. 9. Finds Morrison down low. Great entry pass. And the Beacons have the first points of half number 2.
Good vision by Burston right there. Saw Morrison streak and got a good position on her defender and threw the ball well.
Into the corner. Kane looking for her 3rd triple off the side of the rim this time. It's out of bounds off the Beacons. Morrison got a paw in on that one, and I stand corrected. Just got a text from UMass Boston softball coach and longtime UMass Boston assistant basketball coach Josh Bartley. The Beacons have hosted a playoff game. They've never won a playoff game. Hosted back in 2006-07, their lone home playoff game, lost to Southern Maine in that one. But obviously a home playoff game would give you a better chance to win. The Beacons have been so good here at home as Kane able to answer. Morrison another lay in, and she's able to push it back, and that's big. Morrison was quiet in that first half with just 4 attempts, 3 points. She's already got 4 here in the second half.
You can see the mindset of UMass Boston. Go inside. Keep going inside. Keep going inside. Feed 15 and 44. You have to feed your beast inside.
Garrity all the way to the rim, up and under Morrison, and able to put it in. Kelsey Garrity is a difference maker for this UMass Dartmouth team. Bursting into the hands of Jordan. Jordan had a team-high 3 assists Saturday versus Eastern Connecticut State. To Nelson, gets a screen. UMass Dartmouth almost daring her to shoot that. Jordan around the screen, has some room, will take the jumper, front rim, off the backboard, and that's a big bucket. As Chantel Jordan able to hit a long two, and maybe UMass Dartmouth will be forced to bring their defense out a little bit farther to defend some of those jump shots. Into the wing for Kane, back up top for Castantini, back to Kane as Murphy leaps out in front of her, over to Garrity. Garrity immediately down low for Ronigan. Ball intended for Fahey, and the Beacons with the steal. Mallory Nelson doing a nice job. Burston had all kinds of space, tried to get inside to Murphy. It's stolen away. It's an instance where Burston might have thought about shooting it. Ronigan spins off the front of the rim, no good. And Beacon's fortunate. That one had hit the back of the rim. Erin Fahey was waiting for the rebound.
Not a good shot right there. She got the ball, turned around, and shot a fadeaway where her team has not even crossed the half court yet.
Murphy off of two parts of the rim and no good as she tried her hand at a deep two. Wide open Garrity's already proven she can hit it. Castantini, nothing but net on the triple.
Good extra pass right there. Got Burston to jump at her. Got out the wing. Good shot.
That one's going to go out of bounds off of Burston. She can't believe it. Garrity got a hand in on it. It might have hit off the knee. And Burston still standing there in bewilderment. See Jamie Ballou check in for Taje Burston. This is an interesting one. Ballou has shown signs, at least in small spurts against Brandeis. She came up huge, but to give her the reins here, this game, a 12-point game, still definitely within reach. Jose, what do you think about the decision to put a little bit of a, well, to show a lot of respect for your freshman point guard?
Well, UMass Dartmouth right now is showing that they'll give up that shot. They're not pressuring the perimeter. They're working, crawling the inside. So maybe Coach Manley's thinking if I put somebody I could trust to shoot the ball from the outside, something good could happen.
Well, Jamie's 0 for her last 5 from the field, but 8 of 17 on the year from 3. She was especially hot in early January, a pair of games against Salve Regina and Brandeis as the Beacons earned 2 big non-conference wins, especially the Brandeis one. They lost by 38 a year ago at Brandeis, came back and beat the Judges by 4. UMass Boston's been very up and down here in 2015. Some big wins. Their victory over Keene State a couple of weeks ago here at the Clark was huge, but held to 38 against Eastern Connecticut State on Saturday in a game that could have been a much tighter game. It was the first time the two teams played here in Boston. UMass Boston will bring out 4 of the same 5 players, with Ballou subbing in for Burston. UMass Dartmouth with the ball after the Burston turnover. Garrity across for Kane and right back. Garrity swings it down low for Fahey, up top for Castantini, all the way around for Garrity, who's off on the shot. Great save by Fahey. Tries to find a cutting Garrity, who's stripped of the ball. It's into the hands of Fahey, and Morrison pulls it down. Dartmouth had a couple of good chances on that one, unable to finish. Nelson into the hands of Murphy. Wanted a cutting Mallory Nelson. Instead, she finds Morrison. Tries her luck, and she gets the and one. Kirsten Morrison has doubled up her point total here in the second half. And Morrison's a player who's always dominated UMass Dartmouth, averaging 16.1 points, 9.6 rebounds in her career against UMass Dartmouth in 8 games. And she's starting to look like her normal self.
Yeah, it's her second and 1 of the game. And she's really looking for her shot now. She only shot 4 times in the first half. Now, much more.
Yeah, she's got 10 points and 5 rebounds. She's had 4 career double-doubles in those 8 games. That one's too strong out of the hands of Castantini. Rebound, Ronigan. And right back over to Castantini. Ronigan tries to find Fahey in the Beacons with another steal. Mallory Nelson's had a couple today for UMass Boston. Into the hands of Ballou. She's brought in potentially for her 3-point shooting capabilities. It's a 9-point game. The Beacons have trailed by about 9 to 15 for the last 15 minutes. Jordan tries it inside for Murphy. Double team, throws it up anyway. No good. Tries to track down her own rebound. Able to draw it over to Ballou, and Ballou can't make the catch. Just a little bit too tall for Jamie Ballou, who stands at just about 5 feet. Into the hands of Castantini, down low for Ronigan, immediately doubled. Castantini working against Jordan all the way to the cup. Left hand draws the foul, and she'll head to the line for 2 free throws as Kirsten Morrison will be whistled for her first foul.
Look to see the energy level of UMass Boston now. Like we said in the halftime, they play a lot of minutes in the first half. Look for them to try to get energy from somebody.
Well, on the bench right now, we've seen Katrina Edwards. She provided a little bit of good energy in the first half. Raven Kelsey's seen a small spurt. We know we're going to see Taje Burston come back into the game. His first free throw is good from Beth Castantini. Castantini on the season shooting it at 78.6%. This is a good free throw shooting team for UMass Dartmouth. Not only the conference's top shooting team from the field at 41.4, they're also shooting 72.7 from the free throw line as Castantini hits both. But you're looking for that spark plug. Maybe it's Ballou. Haven't seen her attempt a shot here in the second half as Garrity's taking the assignment to guard her. That's going to make it more difficult. Murphy, top of the key. Over to Jordan, takes the 2 around the screen, off the mark. Chantel, not much of a shooter. She was shooting just about 20% coming into the game. Ballou called for the foul. She got underneath Kane. And Chantel in today's game shooting just 1 of 7.
She's settling a little bit too much for the outside jumper. She has to dribble inside, dribble, drive, kick it out.
UMass Boston in danger potentially of not hitting a 3 in back-to-back games for the first time this season. As the first free throw is up and good out of the hands of Colleen Kane.
That right there just shows you how important Geary is to this offense.
Well, and it's not just Geary. Katie Matthews, a big-time three-point shooter, and she's one of those players who provides energy off the bench. So you're not only missing your top scorer, one of your top ball handlers, you're also missing one of your top scorers off the bench. Those two players combining for 61 points a game. Nelson tries to go hard to the rack, draws the foul, and she's going to be called for the charge. And that's what UMass Dartmouth looks for. She almost goes in like a wrecking ball, for lack of a better comment. And that time she's called for the charge. That's her first foul of the second half. She now has 2 on the game.
Mallory's a physical player. She's not afraid to go in and get some contact.
Fahey kicking it over to Coutil, back into the game. Can't get the finish, gets her own rebound. The reverse is too strong, and Nelson pulls down the rebound. Nelson has 7 points and 3 boards for the Beacons. We'll see Katrina Edwards check in shortly. Murphy looking for some help. The Beacons, no motion in their offense, and the pass bit off the mark there, looking for Morrison down low. See Murphy check out, Katrina Edwards back in. Edwards had 4 points in that first half in limited minutes. Ronigan checking back in shortly for UMass Dartmouth, maybe trying to take advantage of the Beacons without Murphy. Castantini nearly loses the handle on it. Over to Fahey, up top, in and out of the hands of Garrity. Garrity over to the corner. Kane gets Edwards up in the air. Her jumper's too strong. Nelson another rebound. And I hate to keep harping on it, but the Beacons just hanging around. It's a 13-point game. UMass Boston really hasn't looked like they could get back into it, but at the same point, they're not letting UMass Dartmouth push it away as Edwards couldn't make the catch. Kane going hard the other way. Right-hand lay-in, no good. Gets her own rebound as the Beacons didn't get back in transition defense. Into the corner for Garrity. She'll pass up the 3. Driving all the way through. Tries the scoop shot. Edwards can't get the catch. It's Mallory Nelson with their 3rd straight defensive rebound. Ballou over to Edwards. Edwards tries the shot. Gets it to go off the glass. Edwards has 6. And maybe Katrina Edwards is the spark plug you were looking for.
Just as the first half, when she came off the bench, she got inside, got a couple twos. Really energetic right now.
Garrity drives into the paint, kicks it out. Castantini's 3 is no good. Morrison rips down the rebound. And the Beacons will look to cut this back to a single-digit deficit. Burston at the table alongside UMass Dartmouth's Ronigan and Hawkwater. And we'll see a 3rd player head out there. Nelson being baited into taking the 3. Instead, she'll take a long 2. And the deficit is 9. So
good to see one fall. Good to see one from the outside. Maybe that'll get the confidence up. Shoot the ball with confidence, and it'll come back down.
Well, Mallory Nelson's trying to be that second option. She's got 9 points now on 4 of 10 shooting. Murphy has 13 points and 14 rebounds. Morrison with 7 of her 10 here in the second half. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment. 12 minutes to go. The Beacons' deficit is 9.
Come on, Jake. As usual, she wins it. A chance in front. Her shot is in the net. Crystal Layden. Yet another goal.
Please make a gift to the Beacon Athletic Fund today. We want you on our team.
"28 minutes down, 12 to go. UMass Boston looking to earn a victory on their home floor against their intra-state rival for the 3rd consecutive season. It won't be easy this year, though. Down by 9 without 2 of their top 7 rotation players, as UMass Boston will fall back and not provide any full court pressure. For the Beacons, it's Burston, Ballou, Nelson, Murphy, and Edwards. For UMass Dartmouth, Garrity, joined out there by Cohane, Hawkwater, Coutil, and Ronigan. Wide open. Cohane on the near side. Her baseline jumper's off the mark. And Jose, it never looked like she was able to catch the ball. Looked like she had a wide open shot if she had been able to, though.
Yeah, not a pretty shot by a player that could really shoot the ball.
Inside for Nelson. Great cut. Can't get the finish. Rebound loose. And it's into the hands of Hawkwater. Nelson's been a little bit more aggressive in making those cuts, but couldn't quite get it to fall. Down low for Ronigan. Over Murphy. She gets the little bit of help from the rim, and it pushes the lead back out to 11.
She likes that. Get the ball, turn around, and shoot the ball. She's done it about 3 or 4 times already. Murphy has to look for that now.
Murphy gets the spin off the glass and in with the left hand. Olivia Murphy came in 1 point shy of 6th place in program history with her 1,010 career points. Has easily reached that total as she's trying to get into the top 5 for her career. Behind Kirsten Morrison, who came in with 1,129 career points, who reached the total earlier this year. Beacons force another turnover. It's Burston. Remember, UMass Boston still hasn't hit a 3. Deficit is 9. Nelson settles for the long 2, and it rims in.
You see one go down, you might see another one go down too. Get confident. They're going to get confident right now and keep shooting that ball.
Nelson has 11, second on the Beacons behind Murphy with 15. And the question right now is, are maybe the Beacons waking up? Great pass down low, but it's tapped away by a Beacon. And Murphy comes up with it. Jamie Ballou providing a little bit of defensive intensity. And this is a different look. The Beacons with 2 point guards out there with Ballou and Burston, and that gives them maybe a better chance of avoiding turning it over themselves. Nelson thought about it. Hawkwater came after her, leaves it off for Edwards, and she can't get the finish. Edwards gets her own rebound, puts it up, and one opportunity. And right now you can feel the energy from the Beacons bench and some of the fans. It's really picking up the Beacons, maybe believing that they can pull out this upset.
Give credit to the defensive end. Their intensity is going up on that end, creating turnovers where they're rushing back to the offensive end, creating good shots for UMass Boston.
We'll have the free throw after the break. UMass Dartmouth forced to call another one. UMass Boston has cut it to 5.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Back here at the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium, and Jose, we weren't able to be at the first game between these two sides, but UMass Boston just 7 of 17 free throws. They complained about the foul discrepancy. Thus far, the Beacons have forced more fouls against UMass Dartmouth. They're 10 of 11 thus far from the free throw line as Katrina Edwards now 3 for 3. That's been a big part of UMass Boston sticking in this game. Already 12 free throw attempts. UMass Dartmouth on the other side, they're 7 of 7, so no slouches either. Across for Hawkwater. Burston forces the turnover. Up ahead, she has 2 opportunities, and it's Murphy able to make the catch. Beacon's fortunate they weren't called for a turnover there for the travel. Nelson sensing some space. Over to Burston. Looks for the 3. It's up. Nothing but net. Taje Burston, the 3-point shooter on this Beacons team without Geary available, and she's cut it to 2. Hawkwater looks for the answer. It's too strong. Rebound into the hands of Ronigan, almost tied up there by Ballou. Ronigan falling away, and the rebound into the hands of Nelson. The Beacons once again looking to push.
Defensive side is increasing right now. Their intensity is going up, creating turnovers and creating good looks on the offensive end.
Murphy the catch, can't get the lay in, and we've got a tie-up. It'll go back to UMass Dartmouth. It's the 5th tie-up already today between these two sides, as UMass Dartmouth will send out Rachel McCarran, the sophomore out of Groton, Massachusetts. She actually went to UMass Lowell when UMass Lowell was still a Division II team, transferred after her freshman year in which she played in 18 games, but maybe providing a little bit more inside presence, as that's a great catch from Ronigan. Drew some contact, no call. Loose ball. Hawkwater's on top of it and gets it over to Garrity. Garrity, wide open lane all the way, draws the foul, can't get the finish. Edwards can't believe the foul. And honestly, it looked like Edwards should have been whistled for a foul about 10 seconds ago on Ronigan. Fortunate to not be called for it earlier. Ronigan, the #1 free throw shooter in the conference.
Yeah, a lot of contact on that possession there. Referees letting them play a little bit.
And that's probably a benefit for the Beacons, as Garrity hits the first one. Kelsey Garrity came in averaging 11.4 points per game, second on the team, a 69.9% free throw shooter, below the team average, but able to hit both of those. UMass Dartmouth now 9 of 9. They hit 27 of 31 the first time, 88%, easily their best of the season, and now another sparkling display to push the lead back up to 3. UMass Boston just hit their first 3 in 2 games. See if they can find another to tie it. Across for Ballou. She's capable of doing that, but she'll pass up. A nice job by Garrity to get in her face. Inside for Murphy, being completely draped by Ronigan, and Ronigan will be called for the reach in. That's a foul on the floor. Second on Ronigan. It's the 3rd on UMass Dartmouth. The Beacons have been whistled for 4 fouls. Into Ballou. Corner 3 is up. That one's off the front of the rim, no good. And Ronigan has the rebound.
Felt like she had to rush that shot with Garrity closing in. Garrity's playing a really, really good defense on anybody she's guarding.
Ronigan the turnaround, front rim, no good. Jose, I think you're exactly right. Every time she catches the ball, she's going to look to spin away from the basket rather than towards it, and Murphy's maybe catching on. Edwards at the elbow, loses the dribble, gets it over to Murphy. Murphy has a wide open burst on the kick out. The 3 is up. Back rim, no good, off the shot clock. And we'll have a stoppage here as that ball is out of bounds. Alicia Coutil checks in for Ronigan. And now Kirsten Morrison's in there for Katrina Edwards. You talk about the spark plug. Katrina Edwards provided exactly what you were looking for. And now Morrison, who's been good here in the second half, maybe a little bit fresher than where she was towards the end of that first half, even early in the second half.
Yeah, look to her for her to close this game out now. She's well rested. Katrina Edwards did a great job off the bench.
Coutil looking to drive from the free throw line. We've got a hand check there on Morrison. It's going to be her second, giving you the foul update. 2 on Burston, Murphy, Nelson, and Morrison. So 4 of the 5 Beacon starters for UMass Dartmouth. Kane, Garrity, and Fahey all have 2. It's a nice finish there from Erin Fahey. Push the lead up to 5. It was 1. Fahey now has 6 points. But rather, it is 5 rather. Ballou looking for Morrison on the block. Top for Murphy, kicked over to Nelson. And they're going to say that's out of bounds off the Beacons. It looks like Coutil got a tip on that one, which is why Nelson pulled away, but it's the second call we've seen where the Beacons just can't believe the ref's decision making. 7:12 to go. UMass Dartmouth has led the entire way. The Beacons, though, showing a little bit of resolve here and coming back from a deficit that was 15. Coutil over to a wide open McCarron, who can't hit the three. UMass Dartmouth has cooled down a little bit from distance. They're now 6 of 13 after a 5 of 6 start. UMass Boston on the side just 1 of 7. They did hit their last one. Ballou up top for Murphy, takes the long two, and it falls. Olivia Murphy's really feeling it today. That's not something that she normally does well, and she's been able to hit a couple of those.
Which is key because it would open up Chris Morrison inside.
McCarron has to pick up the dribble. Over to Fahey, up top for Garrity. Garrity skips, hops, can't hit the shot. Murphy with the rebound, tries to get it over to Morrison. Morrison bowls over a pair of Corsairs, but she's not whistled for the offensive foul. Nelson for Murphy. The turnaround too strong. Rebound loose. Murphy gets her own board. Kicked around for Ballou. Ballou pump fakes over to Murphy, 4-footer. Hits the shot, and the deficit is 1, and another Corsair to the ground.
Good play there by Ballou. Head fake, dribbled inside, and threw it to the open man.
And Jamie Ballou, a little bit upset with that call. She's called for the hand check. That's the Beacon's 6th. Ballou second, and that's the second consecutive time we've seen a hand check call coming from the far side. The near referee has the same angle, but the eldest of our 3 refereeing crew today seems to really not like the hand check, as we would try to get you a name, but none of the referees are wearing any kind of markers that would allow us to give you that. That one's kicked out of bounds. 21 on the shot clock, 5:42 to go in the game. My name is Seth Dorensky, joined by Jose Pena. The Beacons trail by as many as 15. They're down by 1 here, trying to pull the upset into the corner. It's controlled by McCarron, who's didn't see any minutes in the first half, but she's been out there for the past couple. Catches the pass from Garrity. Had a wide open lane, but had to back off. Now it's Ronigan over Morrison, too short. Rebound in the hands of Cohane. Garrity can't get the finish. Rebound loose. And it's picked up by Garrity. Gets her own rebound. Morrison pulls down the rebound, being badgered there by Cohane. Kirsten Morrison's close to a double-double. She's got 10 points and 8 rebounds, looking for a 5th double-double in 9 career games against the Corsairs. Nelson's been big inside for Morrison. Can't get the catch, and she draws the tie-up. That one should go back to UMass Boston. They didn't switch the arrow, as that's the second consecutive tie-up that has gone to UMass Dartmouth, and this will stay with the Beacons. And that one's going to go on Olivia Murphy's sister, Julia, who's in charge of the possession arrow. So the all-conference volleyball player, she's got to keep her eyes on more than just that scoring book. Wee kid Julia does a great job on both the hardwood for the volleyball team. Wide open Burston, passes up the 3. That's her nature, but I'm sure Courtney Mattingly wouldn't have been too upset if Burston had taken the 3. Ballou over to Nelson, looking for Murphy, who's on the near block. Morrison to Ballou with 17. Under 5 minutes to go. Ballou passes up the 3. Nelson will take the long 2, and she's nothing but net. Mallory Nelson's got 13 points. 6 of them here in the second half, all on long jumpers. The Beacons with their first lead of the game. Garrity the answer, unable to do so. Morrison had a player trying to leak out in Ballou, but too many hands in her faces. 3 Corsairs met her right at the block. Nelson trying to avoid the tie-up, somehow able to wrestle it away from Garrity. Ballou right on the NCAA symbol. Morrison over to Nelson, who's had the hot hand. Out top for Ballou. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Right back to Nelson. Going to have to make something happen. Bounces off a player, gets it off the rim, but the rebound caroms into the hands of Rachel McCarron.
Had to really throw it up there with the shot clock winding down.
Cohane out to Garrity, to Ronigan. Ronigan a couple of spin moves. Somehow works her way in, and she draws the foul. It's a late whistle there.
Late call there.
As Ronigan Faked left, faked right, somehow got under and then put it up, and the whistle came only after the ball hit the front of the rim. Ronigan, the conference's top free throw shooter, a chance to give her team a 1-point lead. As the first free throw, nothing but net. UMass Dartmouth now 10 of 10 from the free throw line. Ronigan on the season 84.9%. As Ronigan now 4 of 4 from the line to tie it at 56. Make it 5 of 5, and it's a 1-point Dartmouth lead. So after the Nelson jumper gave the Beacons their first lead, UMass Boston's going to need to get a response here with under 4 minutes to go. UMass Dartmouth in a 2-3 zone. Ballou gets the three, front rim no good. Garrity with the rebound, and Dartmouth has numbers. Have to pull it back out. A nice job by Ballou to get back. Now it's Cohen looking for Ronigan, can't make the catch, and it's out of bounds. It'll go back to the Beacons. First time we've seen Dartmouth go into this zone, and it puts even more pressure on the Beacons' 3 younger guards, 2 sophomores and a freshman. It's not going to be easy to get it inside to Murphy or Morrison with this 2-3. Garrity nearly had the pick. Nelson into the corner for Burston. 3 is up, too strong. Long rebound into the hands of Ronigan. Ronigan now with 17 points and 5 boards, including the go-ahead free throw. Garrity gets the loose ball, tries to kick it out for Ronigan. 6-footer, another net. 4 straight points from Megan Ronigan. She's at her season average of 19, and the lead is 3 for UMass Dartmouth. The Beacons playing without 2 of their top rotation players, including their leading scorer, but they're right in this one with 2:40 to play. Beacons timeout. We'll take a timeout along with the teams. UMass Boston are right in it with the league-leading UMass Dartmouth Corsairs. Got the reset for you right now. UMass Boston with 17 fouls. UMass Dartmouth with 3. Possession arrow will be with UMass Dartmouth after we had that controversy a little bit earlier. Nobody has heavy foul trouble. Olivia Murphy, the lone player with more than 2 fouls. She has 3. She's got 19 points and 16 rebounds. Megan Ronigan has 19 points and 5 rebounds. It'll be the Beacons ball out of the timeout. UMass Boston with Mallory Nelson, Kirsten Morrison, Olivia Murphy, Jamie Ballou, and Taje Burston, who was shielded away from our angle by a Corsair player. Into the corner for Burston, 14 on the shot clock. Murphy takes the free throw line jumper, and it rims in. Hit every part of the rim that time, but she's feeling it today. She's got 21.
She's real comfortable with that shot today. She's taken a couple and made a couple.
Swung across, great ball movement from UMass Dartmouth. The lead is 1 for the Corsairs. They need this one heading into their matchup against Eastern on Saturday. Great turnaround lay in there from Megan Ronigan. She scored 6 in a row for the Corsairs, and the deficit back to 3. UMass Dartmouth was in a tight one on Saturday against Southern Maine at home. They were outscored 6-2 over the final minutes of that one. It's out of bounds off of Ballou. Garrity once again getting her hand in there. And Jose, we don't have the greatest angle from up here, but it's surprising to see how that ball would have gone off of Ballou, who was dribbling innocently in front of her own bench.
Well, no complaint from Coach Mattingly, so I guess the refs made the right call in her eyes as well.
Garrity to Kane, back and forth. Ronigan at the top of the key. 4 players over to her. Fahey passed up the baseline jumper. Kane, corner 3 is up. Front rim, no good. Ballou fights for the rebound. Over to Burston. Murphy's running the paint. Ronigan, the lone big back, but Beacon's fortunate there. 4 players collapsing on Ronigan. UMass Dartmouth unable to score. Morrison has it batted right back at her. 2-on-2. Castantini running. She had Ronigan in front. UMass Dartmouth can't believe that she passes it backwards. Now Ronigan has it stripped. Ballou on it. Over to Nelson. Nelson needs some help, and we've got a Beacons timeout. So some scary plays from both benches' points of view. Beacons will call the timeout. We'll stay right here.
Very fortunate for the Beacons that the Dartmouth player had the open lane, had the open pass just to get, it's a fast break point. It was a missed chance. Could have put this game a little further away. Missed opportunity there.
Yeah, the turnovers aren't that high. Looks like 17 apiece for these two teams, but we've seen a lot of turnovers over the past couple of minutes. And right now, if you're UMass Boston, minute 3 to go, 30 seconds on the shot clock. You already have committed 7 fouls, which is a good thing, in that the next foul automatically leads to the 1-and-1. The bad thing is UMass Dartmouth is the top free throw shooting team in the conference. So you don't have to go for 3 in this instance, but who do you look for to maybe come up with that key basket for UMass Boston right now, knowing that you're going to have to get another defensive stop?
Right now, you can't shy away from the whole game plan. You go inside with your Olivia or Morrison. Gotta see them inside, hope for a foul, get to the free throw line, maybe hope for an and one.
UMass Dartmouth's going to provide a little bit of full court pressure as Garrity's in the backcourt alongside Megan Cohane, and Nelson, who was unguarded, now gets it back with Cohane on her. UMass Dartmouth has a couple fouls to give. They only have 3. Murphy over to Burston. Had the open look, passed it up. Garrity got over and provided a little bit of pressure. Murphy will take the long 2, and it falls. Once again, Murphy has 23. 14 seconds between game clock and shot clock. UMass Dartmouth's going to have to get a shot off. The Beacons trail by 1, and UMass Dartmouth will use one of their timeouts. 37.5 seconds to go, and now, Jose, strategy changes a little bit. Corsairs really need a basket if they're going to feel safe with this lead. Ronigan's been red hot, but with the Beacons collapsing on her, maybe you look for someone else and use Ronigan as the decoy.
Definitely use her as a decoy. See if you get her inside one-on-one with Morrison. If she got to play there, take the shot. If not, they're going to collapse her, kick it to the open man. They're a great three-point shooting team, so why not? You still got a lot of time on the board.
17 fouls on the Beacons, just 3 on UMass Dartmouth. So if the Beacons were to somehow take a lead, UMass Dartmouth have to give a couple of fouls just to get the Beacons to shoot the 1-and-1. Big part of it is the Beacons don't have the ball handling they normally would have out there. Grace Geary just as shorthanded as Taje Burston. Jamie Ballou's done a nice job. UMass Dartmouth will put Ronigan, Fahey, Garrity, Castantini, and Kane out there. They're starting 5. Garrity swings it across against this 2-3 defense over to Kane. Back to the near side for Castantini. Fahey, who's capable of hitting that baseline jumper to the top. Ronigan, elbow line jumper, front rim, no good. The Beacons have a chance to win this one, and the foul immediately given by Kane. And we'll see Cohane check back in. And we saw Cohane come in for that last possession. A little bit of offense for defense. Cohane's a little bit taller. She's listed at 5'10". She's a senior. And that might be strictly to provide some additional pressure on these Beacons small guards as UMass Dartmouth will match up man-to-man right now. Ballou into the front court, 18 on the clock. The Beacons unable to score in the same situation. But Burston 3 is up, nothing but net. Taje Burston, the go-ahead 3. The Beacons lead is 2. Kelsey Garrity brings it to the front court. UMass Dartmouth timeout. 9.3 seconds to go. She's passed up that same shot multiple occasions. This time, Burston electing to go for it all.
Brandeis all over again. She had a similar shot late in the game against Brandeis. A critical 3 to put the Beacons ahead. She was, like you said, she had the shot multiple times, but she was looking first pass. Now she was looking for that shot.
And with the Beacons sending a couple players to the scorer's table, we can give you a better idea of what the Beacons might do defensively. Edwards and Jordan just checked in. I'd expect Morrison to head to the bench. Morrison's maybe a little bit slower of foot than Edwards. And either Ballou or Nelson, probably Ballou, who's a little bit smaller than Jordan. So right now, you give up a 2, it heads to overtime. You give up a 3, you lose. on the road. Do you go for the win here in regulation, or do you just look to get the tie, go into overtime? And UMass Dartmouth had been the better team for the first 30 minutes in this one. You just need to win the last 5.
Look for them to look for Ronigan. She needs to be inside. She might. Last possession, she took an elbow shot. That's not too much of her game. She wants to go inside, and if Kristen Morris is not guarding her, look for that play right now.
Well, it will be Jordan, Nelson, Burston, Edwards, and Murphy for the Beacons. For UMass Dartmouth, Castantino inbounded to Garrity. Kane, Ronigan, and Fahey are also out there. Garrity keeping it herself, over to Kane, around his screen. Kane swings it down low for Garrity, double team, the ball is loose. Jordan to the floor, the Beacons win! UMass Dartmouth, a huge Little East Conference upset. The Beacons, their 6th conference win. That ties the most they have had in conference under Courtney Mattingly. Their 14th victory, their most under Courtney Mattingly in her 16 seasons. Their 3rd straight win over UMass Dartmouth, but this was the most improbable. No Grace Geary, no Katie Matthew, trailing by as many as 15. And Jose, they somehow came all the way back.
It's a great win for Coach Mattingly's team, as they were not as deep as they usually are. 2 top players not available today. It was a great team win. Defense down the stretch helped them win.
And UMass Boston able to do something they're not normally very good at, shooting a long 2. How many times today did Olivia Murphy, Mallory Nelson maybe step a little bit farther out than their comfortable range? And that UMass Dartmouth, their 2nd straight loss, their 2nd straight late game loss. They fall out of first place depending on the result of Eastern Connecticut State. All of a sudden the Beacons look a lot better. 6-5, Plymouth State on Saturday. We'll have the stats for you and everything else in just a minute, but we're going to take a break, and then we'll be back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network with the post-game show. UMass Boston, a big upset in LEC play.
I'm Alexa Capion. I'm from Messina, New York. I'm a junior on the women's ice hockey team, and I'm an exercise health science major. But when I got here, I met Coach Harris, and I saw the facility, and I met a couple of the girls on the team, and I pretty much got a feel of the program, and I knew right away that this is where I wanted to go to school. We have all league games for the rest of the year, so that's going to be a huge test for us. We need those points to hopefully come out with a good standing for playoffs. A couple of highlights from the last couple of years I've been playing was probably last year when we won our first Codfish Bowl. We made history that year. I was really excited to be part of that. I don't have very many goals, but when I do score, it's definitely a big deal.
That's a goal.
For the past 3 years, we've had Emily. She is a member of the Team Impact program, and that's for children with illnesses that want to be part of a collegiate program. She's great. She comes and watches all of our games. She has her own jersey. She has her own stick. We've got her all this equipment. It's really awesome to have. She gives us a lot of motivation, and she comes in the locker room and talks to us before games, and it's really cool to have her here and be part of our team. When I graduate, I definitely want to go to graduate school, most likely for either athletic training or physical therapy. Our trainers here have definitely given me an insight about what it takes to be an athletic trainer. They're always on top of everything. They always know how to help us and what to do and what not to do. They're always there for us when we need them, and that's given me a lot of help with what I could be doing after I graduate, so that's nice to have them.
Hi, my name is Carl Joseph. I'm currently a criminal justice major. I'm a senior. I am from Brockton, Massachusetts. In basketball, I play small forward / power forward, and in track, I'm a high jumper. Basketball has always been my first love. The favorite part was probably our win over MIT. Like that was tremendous. I almost came to tears just from where the program has come from where I first came here to where we are now, is just amazing, and I love it. Honestly, I was recruited for basketball. My high school coach actually emailed the track coach here, and she walked into the gym one day and it was just like, here, you, come talk to me. And I was on the track team. It really wasn't much of a choice. It was a great honor my freshman year, just being able to become an All-American, finishing 4th in my first ever national championship meet. It was quite the time of my life. My junior year, we received our LEC championship rings from our sophomore year. And coming in into my freshman year at UMass, I was able to witness the volleyball team win their championship and the soccer team, and the only thing that I really wanted was a ring of my own.
Here's Joseph knifing through.
Funny thing is, I actually work here as well. I am one of the Zamboni drivers to our men's and women's hockey teams, and that's what I do for part-time. Being a student here at campus, I can honestly tell you, is quite different from anywhere else you could possibly go. Just the student body here is amazing. I mean, the teachers are amazing. All the teachers that I've had never hesitated to help me out in any way that they could have, from extra help to me going into their offices just to talk about what's going on in the classes and just keep me on track. What I want to do when I graduate, I want to go into the police force for a little bit and ultimately end up either working for the Department of Homeland Security or the Department of ICE. It's definitely possible to be a two-sport athlete here at UMass Boston. It's just going to take a little bit of hard work.
I'm Elizabeth Glavin, sophomore business management major from Edina, Minnesota. I love being a part of this volleyball team. Volleyball is what brought me to UMass Boston. I looked at our recruiting website one last time and saw UMass Boston on it, came out for a visit the next week, and it kind of hit all the boxes that I was looking for. In a good city, good academic school, good volleyball program. It had everything I wanted. Although it was far away from home, I knew this is where I wanted to be. Winning 6 back-to-back LEC titles is really a dynasty, I think, and Terry has really focused hard on recruiting and building this dynasty and continuing to build a program that can continue to win championships, and it's really lucky to be a part of something this great. Last year I was the Little East Conference Defensive Player of the Year, All-Conference second team, NCAA Regional MVP of the regional tournament, ABC All-Region Honorable Mention, and New England Women's Volleyball Association All-Rookie Team and Honorable Mention. I think my favorite game would have to be playing in the regional championship last year. We played against a really good Williams team, and I think that match, we started off a little shaky and lost the first set. We've lost in the whole playoff season, and I think that kind of shook us a little bit. We came back firing, and we're ready to go those next couple games. Our coaches are bringing in a lot of really strong girls who want to make a commitment and make an impact in this program, and I think that is why we're continuing to do well and will continue to do well for the next few years. Being a student here has been really awesome as well. I've recently started taking more of my business classes and found that's a good choice and a good fit for me. And eventually I hope to open my own business and kind of be successful and do what I love at the end of the day.
Beacons on the track! Beacons on the track!
My name is Tyler Hart.
I'm Seth Orensky, joined by head coach Courtney Madley. And coach, one of the more surprising victories of the season, I'd say, in Little East Conference play. Playing without 2 of your players who normally would see a ton of minutes. They combined for 50 minutes a game. You found yourself down by 15 at points during the game. A huge comeback, and the team talked about it before the season. It would come down to your defense winning you games, and this might have been the best defensive display of the season, giving up 61 to a team that led the conference at 71 points per game. Just 23 points allowed in that second half.
Wow, really? I didn't even, yeah. Wow, yeah, we really challenged them at halftime. You know, they shot 50% from the floor, and we really buckled down defensively. We made a couple adjustments to you know what they were doing, and to their credit, they executed it really well. I thought we did a good job too of limiting their second chance opportunities. I mean, they got a couple down the stretch. I think we were pretty fatigued. We haven't touched a basketball in 3 days, so I think they were a little fatigued, and they won some loose balls down the stretch. But for the most part, for a team that shot 21% in the second half, we did a pretty good job of limiting them to one shot.
Well, Coach, obviously there's a couple of players you have to give shout-outs to. Olivia Murphy, 0 points, 7 rebounds the first time against UMass Dartmouth. A monster double-double today, 23 and 19, but Kirsten Mars hit a double-double. Mallory Nelson may have hit more long twos today than she's hit all season long. It seemed like everyone who went out there, had a big play in that second half. Jamie Ballou and Katrina Edwards providing some big efforts, and obviously Taje Burston, another huge three.
Oh my goodness, man! Ice water in those veins for that kid. I mean, she didn't even know what we were running the last time down the court, and then she does that. They're resilient, and knock on wood, we've been bouncing back. Every loss we've come off of, we go back to work, we watch film, and we bounce back, and they're a really resilient group, and I just give them all the credit in the world. I'm really, really proud of them for bouncing back and stepping up to this huge challenge today.
Coach, you've got 3 games left in your regular season. You just tied your personal mark for most wins of the year with 14 overall. You tied your conference mark for most wins in the year with 6. Hopefully those totals will both boost up on Saturday against the Plymouth State team that's winless. What can you say about the character of this team, playing without some players, playing fatigued, not having touched the basketball in 3 days, to come away in a game where at halftime it looks like you guys might not be able to mount a comeback?
They're resilient. They stay in the moment. They take one play at a time, and that's all I can say. They just played with a ton of character. I can't be more proud of them, and resilient. We could have easily kind of stuck our head in the sand and packed it in, but this group just doesn't do that, and they won't do it. And I'm really, really proud of them for that.
Well, 3 straight times the UMass Dartmouth has traveled up the road to UMass Boston. 3 straight victories for the Beacons. We'll take a break, and then we'll have the final stats for you here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
And welcome back to the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium. My name is Seth Orensky, joined by my good luck charm, Jose Pena. First broadcast of his career and a big win for the Beacons. You see that, Jose, the Beacons allowed UMass Dartmouth to shoot 50% in the first half, scored 38 points. They were on pace for 76. 23 points in the second half, shot just 21.2%. Sorry, as I'm looking through the numbers. That is just a testament to the work ethic of this Beacons team, forcing so many turnovers and getting a hand in a lot of the Dartmouth players' faces where Dartmouth couldn't seemingly miss in that first half.
And really, I think the turning point of the game was when Coach Madley made the decision to put Bellou in the game. She did a great job of playing that defense where getting here, she's not a real great defender, long or not like that, but she had the tenacity to get up in people's faces and at least put a hand up.
We'll check out the final team stats right now. The Beacons ended up shooting 39.1% from the floor, 5% better than UMass Dartmouth. The two teams were split by 25%. The Beacons in that second half, 57.1% from the field. UMass Dartmouth, just 21.2%. The Beacons able to hit those 2 threes. Went 0 for 6 in the first half, and that was the difference. As we'll check out the team leaders right now. For the Beacons, Olivia Murphy, 23 and 16. I said 23 and 19 earlier. It easily could have been 19. She was so good. Megan Ronigan, another big game, 21 points. Kelsey Garrity with 7 assists. Jamie Ballou had 6 assists. Easily a new career high. She was phenomenal. Just a tremendous team effort as we're going to check out our BBN crew right now after some last-second changes by our director, Carl Poss, doing a great job working with Elizabeth Clavin. My name is Seth Orensky. So pleased to be joined by Jose Pena, who's done a great job working behind the scenes all season long here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. And great camera work, as always, Jason Cholish, Kyle Thibodeau, and Bree Souza. The Beacons back in action on Saturday at 1 p.m. They'll host Plymouth State, and then they'll be back on the road at Southern Maine on Tuesday and finish off the year right here next Saturday against Western Connecticut State. That'll do it for Game 1 of our doubleheader. Be back in just a couple of minutes for Game 2 as the Beacons men's team will take on another 8-2 team in the conference, the UMass Dartmouth men's basketball team. It's the 68th all-time meeting between UMass Boston and UMass Dartmouth and the 66th time that Charlie Titus and Brian Baptiste will face off on opposite sides of the court. It's a great Little East Conference matchup today between the UMass Boston men's basketball team and the UMass Dartmouth men's side, as the Beacons and Corsairs play for the second time this year. First matchup went 85-75 in favor of the Corsairs. Jordan Resendez, the conference's leading scorer at over 21 points per game, unable to play due to sickness. It didn't matter. 5 different players finished in double digits for the Corsairs. We'll check out the stats right now. And this Corsairs team, they can score with the best of them. 79.8 points per game. They're close to the top of the conference in almost every offensive category. Play State struggle, though. They're not a big team. Wale Abraham, the only big who will start for UMass Dartmouth in today's game. The Beacons, they like to push the pace as well, just under 75 points per game. Their offense has slowed down a little bit, haven't been able to push the pace as much in conference play. Checking out some of the team leaders right now. Carl Joseph, third in the conference with 17.7 points per game. He'll do his best to stick with Jordan Resendez. Joseph coming off a 0-point performance, the first time in 47 games the senior captain out of Brockton, Massachusetts, had done that, as Carl Agnor leads the second in the conference, actually, with his 10.4 rebounds per game. Abraham leading UMass Dartmouth in rebounds and blocks. He actually leads the conference with his 2.7 rebounds per game. Gregory Young, the Beacons' leader in assists, steals, and blocks per game. Also the Beacons' second leading scorer. Check out the player to watch right now for UMass Boston. It's number 23, Luke Ulysses. Luke unable to play in the Beacons' first matchup against UMass Dartmouth. He's back in action today and has done very well over the past 4 games, averaging over 16 points per game, 4 rebounds and 4 assists. The Beacons hope that having him back might help the team a little bit. As we'll check out the highlights from the last time these two teams played here at home. It was an 80-74 win for UMass Dartmouth.
My name is Allie Greenberg. I'm an ice hockey player here. I'm a junior majoring in human services, and I'm part of the Key for Hope Foundation. We recycle the keys and stock food pantries with the money. I wanted to bring this foundation to the athletic department, and I believe we can end hunger starting at UMass Boston.
welcome back. We'll take you through the starters right now for these two sides. We talked about it earlier. UMass Dartmouth going with a 4-guard lineup, and they're so good because they're able to shoot the ball at all 5 positions. Jordan Resendez, the junior transfer, attended Massachusetts Bay Community College back in 2011, 2012, originally out of Wareham High School. He's just a phenomenal scorer, 21 points per game, good for top 20 in the country. John Robinson, a sophomore guard out of Chatham, Massachusetts. He shoots at a 54.8% clip, good for 4th in the conference. John Genkos, the senior out of Worcester, he's one of the captains on this team. 3.3 assists per game, good for 6th in the conference. He shoots 50.5% from distance. That leads the conference. Wale Abraham, talked about him a little bit earlier. He's the Little East Conference Defensive Player of the Year from a year ago, leading the conference in blocks. He's also one of the best rebounders. And Jake Laga, the other captain on this team, does everything for this team. Second on the team in scoring at 13 points per game. Second on the team in three-point shooting at 49%. He's also an 82% free throw shooter, and he's 5th in the conference with his 1.5 assist to turnover ratio. We'll bring you the Beacon starters right now. We'll let the guys introduce themselves.
Luke Ulysses, senior point guard from Brooklyn, New York.
Carl Joseph, senior forward, Brockton, Massachusetts.
Gregory Young, senior, small forward out of Dorchester.
Stephen McGuire, senior forward from Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Back to live action, and since we've got a second, we'll take a look at our all-time series, a compact pregame show after the Beacons women's basketball team earned a huge upset 63-61 win. UMass Dartmouth 54-13 all-time in a series that dates back to 1981 when UMass Dartmouth was still Southeastern Massachusetts University. The Corsairs have won 7 of the past 8. The only Beacons win a 76-74 win at Dartmouth back in 2013. The last time was a 10-point Corsairs win. Omar Benabicha had a huge game for the Beacons, 27 points in that one, including 5 for 5 from distance. But all 5 Corsairs starters scored in double figures with Resendez out, and the Corsairs able to earn that big victory. Looking at this all-time series, it'll be the last time that these two coaches likely or potentially face off. They could face off again in the Little East Conference tournament, but Charlie Titus in his 39th season, he's retiring after this year from coaching. Brian Baptiste in his 32nd season. They've been together. This is their 66th all-time meeting. A lot of history between these two guys, and they were palling around earlier during the women's game, chatting during the second half of that game. The Beacons have not won here at home against the Corsairs since the 05-06 season. 8 consecutive losses, trying to break that trend and maybe feed off of the positive energy after the women's team upset the Corsairs. One stat to watch for this one, the three-point shooting. UMass Dartmouth, the top three-point shooting team in the conference. They've made 183s on the year, 8.57 a game, shoot a league best 41%. The Beacons, the worst three-point shooting team in the conference, just 97 made threes, shoot at a 31.1% clip. The Beacons in their home white uniforms with blue numbers and black trim. We'll go from left to right. UMass Dartmouth in the navy blue and the gold letters and numbers as Wale Abraham wins it, but over to Luke Ulysses for the Beacons. UMass Boston will start. Carl Joseph looking for his first points and a right-hand hook. He's already topped his numbers from Saturday where he was held scoreless for the first time since his sophomore season. Working on the clock right now. Ball in the hands of Wale Abraham. Not a big-time scorer, working against Stephen McGuire, who himself, he's not a big-time scorer, but he's a real positive leader for this Beacons team. As Resendez, the up and under, can't get the finish, gets his own rebound. Shot clock didn't reset. 3 up, a little bit too strong out of the hands of Genkos. And the Beacons look to push off the missed shot. McGuire catches it on the wing, back out to Luke Ulysses. Ulysses drives near side, backdoor cut for Benavicha, tosses it out to Young, the Beacon's top three-point shooter. Down low for McGuire, 4-foot bunny, can't finish with the right hand. UMass Dartmouth, the long outlet pass, and Gregory Young swats that one away over to this trainer's table where Mark Weber, the former lacrosse player, easily able to gobble it up. Gankos on the inbound over to Laga, one captain to another. This UMass Dartmouth team has had a couple of down seasons, but this year with Resendez and so many senior leaders having a very strong year. To the hands of Abraham up top, reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. Over to Resendez. Resendez, the Little East Conference Player of the Week this year for the second time after scoring 34 on Saturday against Southern Maine in a victory. Time it was Gankos to even it up. Young looking for Joseph, posting up on Laga. Swung around for Luke Ulysses. Ulysses around the double team to Young, pulls up, looking for McGuire. McGuire's going to have to struggle to save it. Throws it out top for Ulysses. Nice save. Down to 11. Ulysses all the way to the hoop, and the finish. Drew a little bit of contact, but not enough for a foul in the estimation of our refereeing crew. Chris Nysinki, Bruce Anderson, and Bill Neverett, our three-man crew for tonight's Little East Conference matchup. Benavicha creates the steal. He's running 3-on-2. Benavicha all the way to the tin, pulls it out, looking for Joseph. It's tapped away into the hands of John Robinson. So the Beacons unable to convert on the 3-on-2. Resendez leaves it off for Abraham, blocked from behind, and Carl Joseph will be called for the foul.